Welcome back to Smart Life with Dr. Gina. I, of course, am your host, Dr. Gina. Now, one of the things you tend to think of as a bad thing, you slap the discrimination label on something and it sounds like a terrible thing. It's a social and political buzzword that now leaves a bad taste in one's mouth. Horrendously politically incorrect. However, there is more than one side to a seemingly negative word. Joining me now, Michael Sheetz, executive broadcasting producer at the Empire State Tribune. Michael, welcome back to the show. Tell us, this discrimination word, you say sometimes it's not such a bad thing.
Yeah, the word discrimination, first and foremost in the dictionary, pops up as something that has a negative light, as unjustly accusing or persuading someone. But the second definition is missed by a lot of people, which is that it's just distinguishing between two different things. And I think with a lot of the stories that pop up today, you see discrimination subtly in there, which most people would be labeling as, oh, this is bad discrimination. But there's actually good discrimination, and there's also times when discrimination is incredibly useful, and without it, you'd be having far worse situations otherwise.
Yeah, it almost seems like we threw the baby out with the bathwater. Give us an example of good discrimination.
Well, a great example of discrimination is in a situation such as a restaurant that has begun giving people a 15% discount when they pray, corporately and publicly in the restaurant. It's given on site, and just if they see someone praying, they'll give them a 15% discount on their bill. This is something good. This is something that can be encouraged because it's the restaurant's personal discrimination to give out discounts to whoever they like. It's their business. They're allowed to decide who gets a lower bill than everyone else, and it's not hurting anyone. There's no one that's being negatively affected by it. So if you pray in genuinely in the restaurant, you're probably going to get that 15% discount anyway because you're still praying in public. They say it's not a religious thing, it's a spiritual thing. And if you look at other restaurants who offer discounts like your kids behaved well, so you get 10% off of your tab. Or,
oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, or you finish your entire entree, so here's 5% off of one of your drinks or something like that. That's good discrimination. That's a time when it can be encouraged, and as a consumer, a nice little bonus on something that you wouldn't expect otherwise.
All right, so let's go over on the flip side now. There are some really negative cases of discrimination in our news today. Tell us what you know.
Sure. The situation that most pops up, especially today, is that of in the Fresno Unified School District. Their school district has just built a new middle school, Glasston Middle School, and they're hiring teachers preparing for the school year that starts in about 40 days, right? So this school district is really getting ready, and they're hiring teachers. One teacher who's going to be teaching African American, Hispanic, and Southeast Asian studies has caused a lot of controversy. Why? He's Caucasian, he's white. It's a simple matter of the color of skin in which people say, well, he's teaching these studies that he shouldn't be teaching in because of who he is or what color he is.
So you can't have information if you're not the right race. Isn't that in and of itself racist?
I
guess you can't be racist if it's a Caucasian, but that seems like certainly a bizarre case of discrimination.
Exactly, and I really like what the representative for the district has said on the issue, because he talked about how it's not about the color of your skin. We're looking for quality teachers. He was selected among 4 teachers who applied for the position, and he was the one who has 10 years of experience in Hispanic teaching, 4 years of leadership training with underprivileged children, multiple years with both Southeastern Asian studies and African American studies. He has a very qualified background, and his former students even commented on the issue as talking about how they were really confused by how he was drawing such negative criticism because they've been inspired by him so greatly in the past.
Fascinating. There's a hotel that fines $500 for every bad review posted online. I am a big-time Yelper. I love my Yelp. It makes me, when I find a good meal, I'm so happy, or a good service. It's not just food, although it's mostly food on my Yelp if you look. But it's not just food, but you can find, I've reviewed car services. I've reviewed other service type things. Is this a good idea or a bad idea?
It's a pretty bad idea because I think this is a situation in which the discrimination of the hotel in treating its consumers is a bad thing. Definitely not something I'd say that someone should be stepping in and doing something about it from an outside, maybe legal perspective, but something that could draw a lot of ire from consumers and then push away their own business. It's a very poor business model and something that's going to hurt them long term.
All right, I want to completely shift gears with you because this gets back to the political, but I feel like it's something that needs to be covered. This U.S. general killed in this, what appears to be, anyway, an insider attack in Afghanistan. This has been going on a while, but this is really the first attention any stories like this have gotten now that there's been a murder, we suppose. What do you know about this, and what does this mean for this news cycle's promotion of what is really happening there?
Well, to give a tiny bit of background, a fun little fact about this whole Afghanistan withdrawal and the troop situation we have over there, if you Google Afghanistan withdrawal and maybe even look through the references on Wikipedia, you find articles from 2012 talking about potential plans of withdrawal. That's 2 years ago that we were talking about plans that could go into effect, and then we just left them sit there. And I think that really points to the problem here. The reason why suddenly, just because a 2-star general was killed, someone whose life is just as priceless as the thousands of other United States troops who have given their lives in active duty, and the ones who have died in insider attacks, which now is in the dozens, if not hundreds, this is drawing attention to something in which a lot of our foreign policy is just tried to sweep under the rug. You can blame that on NATO, the media, our U.S. foreign policy. In any situation, this is just bad foreign policy because it's looking at something really important, insider attacks, and our situation that we have in Afghanistan. We have 66,000 troops still there, and those are just the U.S. troops, not let alone the rest of the NATO coalition. So when you have this many troops that are still in this area, it's really hard for us to just look at this as not a problem. How can we just ignore so many American lives that are at stake in a country that we've invested so heavily in developing and not have a plan about it? Why do we just sit back and let things happen?
And where do you think that real fault lies?
I think that real fault lies within a lot of how the United States foreign policy has been handled, especially since 2009 when Obama first announced the minor troop surge at that time, and then there just wasn't a plan after that. It was, let's put some more troops in there and then start drawing them out. Draw them out how, when, where. We just haven't decided, and that's slowly killing us both figuratively and literally today.
So what do you think will happen now in light of this general being killed?
I certainly hope there's so much attention that's drawn to this, as he is the highest ranking United States official ever killed in the Afghanistan war since 2001. Highest ranking official. I certainly hope there's a lot more attention drawn to having an actual plan of withdrawal. If we are going to withdraw, let's have a plan and let's actually do something about it.
Rather than just talking about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, all right. Thank you so much.